Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing fishes, how they came to be, what they do, and how they impact us. First up, evolution. The first fishes arose around 520 million years ago during the Cambrian period. They lacked developed fins, dermal bone coverings, as well as jaws. These jawless fishes were called cyclostomes. During the late Ordovician period, fishes called gnathostomes arose. They possessed jaws and enameled scales. These fishes diversified into osteichthyes, which are bony fish, and chondrichthyes, which are sharks and rays. During the Devonian, osteichthyes then split into ray-finned fishes and lobe-finned fishes. Lobe-finned fishes then diversified into tetrapods, which were four-limbed vertebrates. By the end of the Paleozoic, no lobe-finned fishes remained other than tetrapods, as well as lungfish and coelacanths, which still exist today. The lobe-finned fish structures of tetrapods gave rise to amphibians and were modified into legs, like your own. During the Devonian, chondrichthyes further diversify, and then in the Mesozoic era, a clade of bony fish called percomorphins diversified into the majority of the current fish species we see today. Currently, there are around 33,600 fish species occupying a variety of marine and freshwater habitats, including rocky shores, kelp forests, and the deep sea. Around 70% of fishes inhabit the Pacific Ocean, 20% inhabit the Atlantic, and 8% inhabit the Indian Ocean. Next, we will be discussing energy. Fishes span from herbivores to carnivores to omnivores to detritivores, which are fish that consume decomposing matter. For the most part, fish, such as mackerels and tuna, are active predators. Others, like anchovies, filter feed, and some, like catfish, bottom feed. Some fishes have very specialized methods of getting a bite to eat. For instance, billfish use their bills to stun prey. Stonefish utilize crypsis to camouflage themselves until they are ready to attack. And archerfish propel water to knock insects out of the air. Now on to reproduction. Prior to reproduction, some fishes migrate out of their marine or freshwater environments and into another. For instance, salmon migrate from the ocean to freshwater streams to lay eggs where they were born. During reproduction, the male transfers its sperm, which is in the form of milt, to a female or substrate using its pelvic fins. Once the egg is fertilized, it can either hatch and develop within the mother, this is called viviparity, develop internally and then be ejected once hatched, or be fertilized and ejected before development. When eggs are released, they can remain in the water column or adhere to plants. Some eggs are placed in nests made of sand, threads excreted by the kidney, or mucus. Some fishes, such as cichlids, even keep their offspring in their mouths. Generally, fishes must produce a lot of offspring because there's a high mortality rate in young. Some fishes, specifically viviparous ones, produce and nurture few young. The topic we will be covering next is adaptations. How are fish specialized to survive in their environment? Fishes have a very special organ called gills. These gills contain thin filaments folded into lamellae that are supplied by many blood vessels to maximize oxygen exchange. The gills are also covered by an operculum to maintain the streamline shape of the fish, and a branchial chamber pumps water over the gills. Blood flow within the fish counters the flow of water in order to absorb a maximum amount of oxygen. Some fishes use other methods for respiration. For instance, electric eels have degenerate gills, so they must gulp air to survive. And bowfins utilize both lungs and gills. Fish hemoglobin can adapt its oxygen affinity to changing environmental conditions by regulating ligand concentration. To maintain healthy salinity levels, freshwater fishes use hyperosmotic regulation, which involves pumping water out via their kidneys and actively transporting salt ions into their blood. Marine bony fishes use hypoosmotic regulation, which includes secreting salt through the gills and ejecting salt through the kidney. Fishes also possess a range of ecological adaptations, including mouth and fin shape, coloration, bioluminescence, and electricity. For instance, canine teeth are used to hold prey, while molars crush shells. Some fishes have thick lips to suck on plants or chisel teeth to wear down corals. Fish with thin and split tails are adapted to swim fast and far, while fishes with broad fins and a large tail are adapted to navigate reefs and rocks. Fishes, such as butterfly fish, use disruptive marks like lines and dots to mask their body shape. Sharks have counter shading with a darker color on top and a lighter color on the bottom. This allows them to blend in when viewed from both a ventral and dorsal view. Bioluminescence is used to attract prey and mates. In addition, sharks employ their ampulla of Lorenzi to detect the electric fields of weakened prey. Next up, how do fishes impact us? According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, 9.9 billion pounds of fish were captured in 2017, with salmon being valued at $688 million and Alaska pollock at $512 million. In 2016, commercial fishing and the seafood industry supported 1.2 million jobs, reeled in $144 billion in sales impacts, and contributed $61 billion to the GDP. Now we will talk about the promising research being performed on fish model systems. Scientists have been utilizing the zebrafish for genetic testing because they can selectively mutate the organism to model human conditions including skin cancer, blood disease, and rare illnesses in infants. This system has also been used to study tumor development, as well as test drugs, which is easy because the fish absorb medication directly through their skin. Most notably, zebrafish have been used to identify molecules that increase blood stem cell counts. These molecules were then used in clinical trials on leukemia patients who possess few blood cells due to chemotherapy, and the blood cell count increased in 10 out of 12 of the patients. Other than zebrafish, scientists have also generated genomic sequences for fugu, tetradon, and medaka fishes. And last but not least, my quirky fact. In rivers in England, male roachfish are transitioning to females due to exposure to estrogen, which is expelled into the water along with other chemical pollutants. Well everybody, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching and be sure to go check out my art account on Instagram. Thank you!